Hello dear viewers, welcome to this edition of the news in English on Rwanda Television with me, Serge Nhore. We'll begin with the headlines. The government of Rwanda has reassured its citizens, especially those residing in Rubavu near the border with Goma of the DRC, that the country's security is well maintained and that they should not be alarmed. And members of the United Nations Security Council have met in New York for a meeting on the security issues in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Now straight to the details. Thank you again for taking the time to join us. At the Rwanda-DRC border in Rubavu district, that's in the Western province, residents spent the day hearing the sound of gunfire and explosions from the ongoing conflict in the Democratic Republic of Congo involving the M23 rebel group and the Congolese army, FARDC, alongside allied militias. The M23 have now advanced to the outskirts of Goma, marking a significant escalation after resuming hostilities 3 years ago. In Rubavu, locals have been expressing confidence in Rwanda's security forces, assuring them of their safety and security. The residents of Rubavu sector, where the sounds of gunfire and bombs were heard during clashes between the M23 and FARDC forces, confirmed that calm has returned to the area. The gunfire reportedly began at around 6 p.m. on Saturday and continued until 2 a.m. Sunday, causing fear among some of the residents. However, the residents now feel secure thanks to the reassurance from the Rwanda Defense Force, which has promised to protect them and maintain security. Life has now returned to normal, with people engaging in their usual activities. Shopkeepers are busy selling goods, families are preparing for evening meals, and others are taking walks along the roads without signs of panic or fear. Now, as we noted in the headlines, the government of Rwanda has reassured its citizens, especially those residing in Rubavu near the border with Goma in the DRC, that the country's security is well maintained and that they should not be alarmed. This was stated by the deputy spokesperson of the government of Rwanda, Alain Mukurarinda, during an exclusive interview with RBA. He urged the residents of Rubavu to continue their daily activities as usual and to adhere to the guidelines provided by their local civilian and military leaders. During the interview, he also pointed out that even though Rwanda respects the decisions made by other governments regarding diplomatic relations, he nevertheless questioned the decisions of the DRC government regarding the situation, observing that they are not helping and instead stand to make things much worse. He also criticized the DRC's government on its flip-flop strategies regarding the origins of the M23 rebels it is fighting and their identity as Congolese nationals, stressing that trying to blame Rwanda for its own internal problems is a futile endeavor because the facts are evident for all to see, especially those who try to suppress them. He also emphasized that the general public will continue to be updated on the relevant developments of the conflict in the DRC as time passes. Again, as we noted in the headlines, on Sunday, members of the United Nations Security Council met in New York for a meeting on the security issues in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. Rwanda's representative to the United Nations, Ambassador Ernest Rwamucho, stated that the ongoing security issue in the DRC highlights the country's continued abdication of responsibility instead of addressing the root causes of the conflict.
It is very important because it's a very clear mandate, and the mandate needs not to be changed because of the risk, especially that some of these forces, the Wazalendo groups, FDLR, have committed tremendous atrocities in Eastern DRC. So a force, an international force, to which we are all members, should not be associated with activities of such negative armed groups which have been sanctioned. Again, Rwanda supports MONUSCO and has no issue around MONUSCO except for those 3 issues that I have outlined. Mr. President, the situation we are facing today is no surprise to anyone. It mirrors the same situation 12 years ago. It is the result of the complete mismanagement by the DRC of a complex problem. The international community also has its fair share of the blame for being completely insensitive to the root causes of the problem and allow legitimate actors to operate completely out of their mandate. The situation we are in today prevailed exactly in 2012 and 2013. And that time, no political solution was undertaken to ensure that the issue is resolved to its root.
Ambassador Ernest Rwamucho stressed the need for political solutions over military action to address the conflict in the eastern DRC.
We need to find ways to return to the diplomatic and political processes that focus on practical solutions. Rwanda is of the view that these solutions might involve additional actors, primarily based in Africa, in partnership with the international community. We are committed to the regional process, to the Rwanda process, and to a peaceful dialogue, to a peaceful resolution of this issue. And we are ready to remain engaged in a peaceful process, because we strongly believe that there is no military solution to this problem. It has to be resolved politically, diplomatically, and with the support of all partners acting together. However, in order for anything to be successful, the DRC must play a helpful role. After all, this is a Congolese problem for which the DRC is looking to outsource its solution. The solution to this problem cannot be outsourced. It requires ownership and political will, and looking at the root cause of the conflict comprehensively and addressing them. Partners can support, but partners cannot fully own and resolve this problem. Rwanda stands ready to a fund that addresses the concerns of all actors involved on an equal footing.
Now let us move on to other matters. Women and youth elected to lead RPF Inkotanyi females and young people in Kigali City in the northern province have pledged to work diligently to achieve the party's goals and objectives over the next 5 years. Those elected to the women's wing committees under the RPF Inkotanyi in Kigali and the northern province have expressed gratitude for the role women and youth play in the country's development. After being elected, they committed to being catalysts for change and advancing the nation towards its developmental aspirations within the next 5 years. Similarly, those elected emphasized unity in addressing challenges affecting youth livelihoods and fostering cultural development. The Secretary General of the RPF Inkotanyi, Werals Gasamagera, highlighted the critical role these wings have played in driving the country's development milestones in previous years. The women's wing has been tasked with leading efforts to uphold the country's core values, while the youth were reminded of their role as the nation's future leaders and were urged not to tolerate any efforts to hinder the country's progress. Now, the management of the Irembo platform has announced plans to extend digital services to private sector businesses, allowing them to access needed services more conveniently. This development aligns with the findings of the World Economic Forum, which highlights Rwanda as one of 7 countries excelling in e-government service delivery. Currently, Irembo provides 240 services offered by 48 government institutions. Citizens who use the platform confirm that it has significantly improved the speed and accessibility of services. However, business owners have expressed a need for tailored services to the private sector to also be integrated into the platform. And officials at Irembo have confirmed that the next priority is incorporating the services required by private sector players. A report published by the World Economic Forum during this month of January, in collaboration with the Global Government Technology Center in Berlin, emphasized the importance of technology in enhancing service delivery. Alongside Rwanda, countries like Azerbaijan, Bahrain, Brazil, Germany, Malaysia, and Ukraine were recognized for advancing e-government solutions. Rwanda's Prime Minister, Dr. Edouard Ngirente, has acknowledged the impact of Irembo in streamlining, that is, public service delivery, and emphasized the need to further improve digital literacy among the population.
Business community, what we can say, the work continues. What we are getting to realize that for citizens, we know what we're looking for. You want a birth certificate, you want a passport, you know what you're looking for. But for a business, I'll give you an example. Maybe I want to set up a real estate company. That is the end goal. Now we're getting to understand that for them, it's a different process where we have to think differently and re-engineer our processes, where we're like, okay, how do we make sure that Noela's company get set up the next day. I have to understand all the regulations you have to go through, all the institutions you have to deal with. And what we are currently working on is building journeys for them. Instead of building one service, we connect all the services for you to get to the end goal without necessarily knowing that you have to go to RDB, RRA, but we connect everyone to work with you to get a service, and you are fully operational the next day. So that's what we are going to be working on. We don't believe that these are manual services, but they really require enhancement and efficiency.
The government has also invested in digitization of government services through an online platform called Irembo. This initiative has simplified access to government services for citizens, saving time and effort. It has also improved the efficiency and effectiveness of public administration and the service delivery to both citizens and businesses. We are also promoting digital literacy, e-government, and sector-specific digital solutions to increase production for sustainable economic growth. In fact, reports indicate that improving digital connectivity, coupled with a comprehensive enabling regulatory environment, could reduce trade costs by up to 25%. This potential requires that our countries advance the use of digital innovation in trade operations.
Our apologies for that. The Prime Minister was preceded by an official from Irembo who confirmed that the next priority is incorporating the services required by private sector players. Now, since the launch of the G-Korere campaign in May 2023, Irembo has reached 153 out of Rwanda's 416 sectors, with 35% of users now accessing services directly without intermediaries. The campaign was initiated following requests from approximately 5 million users needing Irembo services during that period, and will continue to expand to other sectors as well. Now to agricultural matters, and the Rwanda Agricultural and Animal Resources Development Board is advising farmers with unharvested maize crops to start preparing their fields to avoid delays in planting for the 2025B agricultural season. This guidance follows concerns from farmers in various regions who are still harvesting crops like beans, potatoes, and wheat, which were delayed due to late rains during the previous 2025A season. Typically, harvesting is completed by this time of year, but some maize fields are still not ready for harvest. Farmers worry that this may delay planting in the upcoming season, potentially impacting yields. The Rwanda Meteorology Agency forecasts that the rainy season for the 2025B season will start between the 10th and the 20th of February in some areas and progressively extend to other regions. The rains are expected to end between the 10th and 20th of May. RAB is therefore urging farmers to begin land preparations immediately, particularly in maize fields, as fertilizers are already available for the next planting season. Since the 2025B season is shorter and occurs during the rainy period, farmers are also being encouraged to ensure the proper use and storage of crops harvested from the 2025A season to maximize benefits. Now to issues of road safety, and the Rwanda National Police's Traffic and Road Safety Department has expressed gratitude to citizens who promptly report crimes and road safety violations. This follows the recent arrest of a 48-year-old man who went viral on social media for fleeing police while recklessly driving a Yutong bus. The incident occurred on the 17th of this month of January when a user on X shared a video showing a police car in pursuit of the bus. The driver was eventually apprehended and found to have committed several offenses, including driving under the influence of alcohol and using cannabis. Both passengers and drivers have condemned such behavior, highlighting the dangers of fleeing law enforcement, which can lead to escalating crimes. The driver is now facing charges of 2 major offenses, that being drunk driving and cannabis use, alongside other violations. The incident unfolded near the Nyanza bus station in Chichichiro district when the driver, noticing police officers, attempted to flee. He sped towards where Rwandex was once located, proceeded to Nyabugogo, all the while ignoring multiple orders to stop. Police units were then forced to block roads in Kachiru, where he was eventually stopped and arrested. City dwellers are singing praises for Kigali City for its efforts in developing resting areas and parks. These say that such vibrant spaces not only offer a much needed place to unwind and also present an opportunity for them to make money through photography. William Evans Mutabazi with the details.
In many parts of the capital Kigali, the city authority have created resting zones and parks for city dwellers and other travelers from across the world to provide shelter, but also as zones to visit and create memories with friends and families. City of Kigali Gardens is my best place for photos that I use on my social media. Oftentimes, people who engage with my posts comment asking me where this place is, and some ask me to bring them here. Also, this place has free internet access, which helps us share about our country easily.
ahubwo binaduha no kumenyekanisha igihugu cyacu muri rusange.
When we come to take photos from here, we share them with our friends, and many who have not been here usually ask about it and also want to come and visit. These spaces are not just about relaxing and enjoying life, but also a source of income for many young people, some of which have come up with an association to better organize themselves as photographers whose customers are often in these places.
Muri rusange
Useful to us. We organized ourselves into a cooperative so we can do photography from here, and we've been earning money especially over the weekends. We no longer have to look at only wedding gigs anymore because we work even during weekly days. This place is really good, and we are grateful to the city's authority for creating such places because they have economically made us better people and we're able to provide for people who depend on us. In short, it's a good place and we love it. The spokesperson of City of Kigali agreed that because many people take photos from these parks and resting areas and share them on their social networks, many people have been inspired to visit Kigali and RwandaTV, which is a good thing. Sometimes we see Rwandans living in diaspora taking photos from these places and captioning them, or foreigners, and you find that their photos and posts reach wider audiences. This sells our country and city to these audiences who might end up visiting us. We recently had a group of women from Asia visiting and taking photos at night and highlighting how it is safe to take photos and walk at night in Kigali. Such personal experiences, once shared, speak volumes. People using personal phones can take photos in all areas without a signpost prohibiting them to, and must not destroy their green. Yet those who wish to shoot films or use professional cameras must seek permission from the Ministry of Youth and Arts and inform the city authorities. William Evans, Mutabazi, RwandaTV News.
Thank you, William. Now to health matters, and local residents who use the Kabere Health Center in Musanze district, that's in the northern province, are pleased with its recent renovations because they now receive medical care in a modern facility. However, they are calling for an increase in the number of nurses and midwives, citing their shortage as a significant cause of poor service delivery. The health center, originally constructed in the 80s, underwent a major overhaul in 2023. All dilapidated buildings were replaced with a multi-story facility and other sections were renovated. The director of the health center acknowledges that the shortage of nurses and midwives hinders their ability to serve the population effectively. Meanwhile, Musanze's vice mayor in charge of social affairs has given assurances that the issue will be addressed promptly and has emphasized the district's commitment to improving healthcare services. The Kabere Health Center serves over 100 patients every day, catering to more than 29,000 residents from 3 sectors in Musanze, and the call for more medical staff has remained a pressing concern for the facility's effective operation. Welcome back, and now stories from around the world. Alex Singabo, a Rwandan social entrepreneur, is using social media to boost our nation's tourism sector while educating the globe on diverse cultures. VOA has the details.
Alexis says that he began using social media as a student at the National University in Rwanda, but soon got the idea to showcase his home area's unique cow culture. He tells me that he wanted the world to see Bigogwe's lush green landscape tradition.
Bigogwe is a tourism destination now in Rwanda, which is actually trending. We have like beautiful farm with beautiful landscape, and in the landscape you can find cows. So when you get there, we make you Rwandan cowboy. Okay. And cowgirl, of course, if you are like girl.
What is the symbolic, I guess, importance of cows in Rwandan culture?
Actually, in Rwanda, cows is one of the main pillars of our culture and heritage. Cows is symbol of love. If a Rwandan loves you so much, the best gift will be a cow. And it's a symbol of richness. So for the Rwandan to be considered himself wealthy, like wealthy, he has to have many cows. Right. Yeah. If you don't have cows in Rwanda, so you can't discuss business with the rich man. Right. So the visitors that come to visit Iribere Jabigogwe, what do they see? What kind of experiences do they the most thing we show them, it's our beautiful farms, our beautiful landscape, which they really appreciate. Another thing we have, it's culture, of course. So the combination of cows and the culture around cows, and like how we treat our cows, what your cowboys do when they are grazing cows. I mean, like how we have like different games we play during when we are grazing cows. Like we have high jumping game, have stick game. We sing for our cows. We give them traditional lunch and dinner. You mean the guests? So give them the guests lunch. We give to the guests, of course, not to the cows. Yeah. So and they really enjoy that. And we sometimes dance for them when they want. They have booked the tour. They can do. How long are these tours? It take 4 hours for half-day tour, and then full-day tour it can take like 10 hours. And then we have like 2 days when you want to camp in Des Green Hills. It's a very interesting concept. How did you start it? Where did you get the inspiration for it? Actually, I grew up in Ibikogwe, and that's my home. And even my parents grew up there. So, but I have never seen any person coming there. I've never seen any tourists. Any outside visitors coming? No. Right. Even any newspaper like trying to highlight the beauty of the area. Right. Yeah. So then I said I can use my social media. Let me try, because by that time I didn't have any platforms. I say let me try to use social media to promote my home. And I really wanted it, like I wanted the world to see the beauty of my home.
Now to the US, and Kaimani Chi, a Hawaiian entrepreneur, is educating people who live in the US state of Maryland on his culture through dance classes where he teaches people the art of hula. VOA once more.
In a small dance room in downtown Silver Spring, Maryland, Kaimana Chi, a master teacher in the art of hula, also known as a kumu hula, meets with others to dance. Chi is also the co-founder of the group Halau Nohana Hawaii, which aims to cultivate and protect Hawaiian culture and its traditions.
As a native Hawaiian, I feel that my responsibility to my people and to my culture is to be a good steward of our culture and to educate.
The word hula may evoke images of a sensual dance performed by Hawaiian women in coconut bras and grass skirts, a stereotype perpetuated over the decades through popular television and film.
There's a lot of misconceptions about what hula is and what hula isn't. Hula is often referred to as a part of the language of Hawaii, the heartbeat of its people, the way we preserve culture. What hula is not just a dance.
In 1778, Captain James Cook, a British explorer, became the first European to make contact with the Hawaiian Islands. Christian missionaries later followed his path to the island chain. Vicky Holt Takamini, a kumu hula and the executive director of the Pa'i Foundation, a Hawaiian cultural advocacy group, says the newcomers' arrival forced hula into the shadows as they found it immoral.
Hula was banned in 1820 when the missionaries came to Hawaii. It was banned from public performance from 1820 to 1883. So a whole generation had to hide.
It wasn't until the accession of King David Kalakaua in 1874 that hula would be allowed back into the public sphere.
He was responsible for bringing hula to the public and in 1883 and said that hula is the language of the heart and the heartbeat of the Hawaiian people. And so he had a whole festival at his coronation, invited all the halau hula to come and celebrate hula in a very public performance at his coronation.
For Chi, dancing hula helps him maintain a link to his roots.
I feel very emotional because I feel some sort of intangible connection to my kupuna, or my ancestors.
As well as form new bonds with others far from the place where he grew up.
When I teach hula and I see my students connect, I feel emotional, I feel gratitude, I feel grace, and I feel like I'm making someone proud. Not someone, but someone, you know? That's what hula makes me feel.
Keith Lane, VOA News.
We've come to the end of this edition of the news, but before we go, let us again take a quick look at the headlines. The government of Rwanda has reassured its citizens, especially those residing in Rubavu near the border with Goma of the DRC, that the country's security is well maintained and that they should not be alarmed. And members of the United Nations Security Council have met in New York for a meeting on the security issues in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. We're starting a new week and I hope it will be great for you. Stay with Rwanda Television as the programs continue. I will be seeing you soon again. Goodbye.